Good afternoon, Stampers. This is Debbie from Stamps and Stuff, and I have a cute Christmas card that I'd like to share with you today. I am from Stamps and Stuff, and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based out of Lake Havasu City, Arizona. And stick with me during this video to the end, and I'll show you several other samples that are made with the same set. So don't be leaving us. Okay, let's get started here. This is the card that I'm featuring today. I'd like to share with you, and this is another one of those cards that you can use your scraps that everybody has, you know, these little leftover pieces that are the end cuts when you're cutting up your designer paper. When I get my paper, I cut the sets into sizes that I characteristically use. And also when I have leftover pieces, when I cut them down, I put them in, so we end up with extra pieces here. So this is a great card for using those pieces up. And it features Stampin' Up's Poinsettia Petals, which is a really cool stamp set. I have 4 other samples here to show you at the end. I just love this set. May your magic and wonder bloom this holiday. Warm wishes from our home to yours. Thank you for making this a wonderful season. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. And then it's got everything that you need to make this poinsettia. And then there's one that stamps a poinsettia that is just one level. In other words, it's not built up like this. So there's a die set that comes with it. It's the poinsettia dies that you can cut everything out. So the embossing folders that I'm using are Dainty Diamonds, Greenery, and my favorite, the Parisian Flourish. And what I did was, with the little strips, I took and I embossed them with one of my embossing folders. And you don't have to use these 3. You can use any embossing folder that you have and to use your favorite. So, okay, let's get started here. Okay. Now, all of the dimensions and everything, the measurements, what you need is all up on the website. And our new website, I just posted our first post on it. This is the address here, and you can also click on the link on the Facebook page. But all the information that you'll need to make this card is on the website. So, okay, now what we're going to do first is, this is kind of a blast from the past, and you'll remember from our kindergarten days where we made the little grids in our kindergarten classes. So basically what we're going to do, I've taken and I've put some tape here, and I'm going to put the first line in, and then I'm going to put this on the top so it's easier that my grid doesn't come apart while I'm working on it, so that this will ensure that that doesn't happen. So basically I'm just kind of gonna move down the line here with my leftover scraps. Let me take this one here. But by taping it down up here, it will give us more control over being able to weave it through. Okay, and I think I'm going to have that about where I want it. So you want probably, now these pieces are about 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 inch. So what I did is I took my scrap pieces and then I sliced them down. Now some of them, these generally come off of a tail end as you're cutting a piece for your card front usually. So they kind of come that way. So, okay. Now then, I'm going to put this on the top so they will stay together. Okay. In fact, I'm going to take this piece here. And just like we did in kindergarten, you want to start under and over and under and over like this. And I'm going to bring this up not completely to the top, because when I cut this off, I want to stagger these. See how these are staggered? In other words, I'm going to cut this off straight, but then I'm going to continue to cut it so that these stagger, because if it were a straight line, it wouldn't have as much interest. So, okay, I'm going to go here with this. Now I'm going to start on the top and go under and just weave it right through. Again, like this. Now I'm going to start under, and then I'm going to weave through. And I'm going to pull that up. We used to make like little placemats and everything. I remember doing it. Okay. Now this, we're going to start on top and go under. Except I remember in kindergarten being able to feed these through better than I'm doing right now. Okay. This one's going to go on top. Actually, probably if I... Okay. Now I want to get these not right on top of each other, but fairly close in there. So I'm going to bring these down so I've got more room on the top. Okay. Now what I'm going to do on this back is I am going to take and put some tape that's going to kind of hold it in place. Not that I don't trust it, but I don't trust it. Okay. So what I am going to do is I'm going to cut these pieces at different lengths just to give it interest. And I'm going to get this front piece ready for the focal point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the front panel here and put it on. What I do is I kind of line up these two corners and then I catch a third, and usually if you do that, you're pretty straight. And this piece, this front white panel, is embossed with the Parisian flourish. I just love this embossing folder. I don't know whether you can see it or not, but it is really pretty. I don't think the camera does it justice, but it's really pretty. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off here. So that I can kind of stagger them. Okay, and then you just kind of figure it, get it around to where you like, let me get my other scissors, where you like the configuration. Okay, I think I'm going to go with that. Okay, it's just a matter of kind of trimming it so that it fits on your page. Alrighty. And this, I'm going to glue this, and I want to catch kind of the edges here so that I'm not going to, as this card comes out of the envelope and gets handled, you don't want it to come apart because you've got all these edges. So I'm going to move that up a little bit there. And it is okay if it goes over the line there. I wouldn't worry about that. I just want to make sure all the edges are kind of glued down. Okay. That basically is all there is to the background. Then what we're going to do is I have stamped on some real red cardstock. I have stamped the these three images and embossed them with embossing powder and then cut them out with the die. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to manipulate these petals a little bit. When you do this, you want to hold into the center, because what happens is sometimes when you're doing this, you can rip the petals off. And these flowers aren't so critical, but a lot of them have finer points here, and you can rip them right off. So you want to make sure that they're pretty well stabilized. And this will just give it a little more natural look, because petals aren't flat. So what I'm going to do is get a little piece of foam here, and I want to push this down. Let me use this. I'm going to push it down so the petals kind of come up. And each one will. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue here. And I'm going to put that down. And this glue stays kind of tacky for a while, so it takes a little bit of time for it to grab. That's why it's a good glue to work with, because it gives you time to manipulate before it really sets. Okay. And what I'm going to do is put some glue in the center, and then we'll take one of these beaded pearls and we will put right in the center there. And of course this is going to flatten it down a little bit, but when it all glues together, then we can manipulate the petals back up. Okay, I'm going to put that over there so that it can dry a little bit, and we will get the inside ready. Okay. This is the same size as the front is. Now this Whisper White piece is not embossed. And instead here I have this panel embossed. So we'll put this right across here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the inside sentiment. Oops, let me see. This thing wants to keep popping up. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to take this stamp and I'm going to stamp it right here. Straight down, hold for a couple seconds, straight up. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is mount this. Get 3 corners, and then press it down. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some dimensionals. Whoop. Where are my petals? Okay, well, we're going to have a petalless flower here on this project. Because I'm sure you don't want to wait for me to go and cut another petal. Okay. Then we'll place our focal point here. Whoop. Not quite set. Okay, now we will take our sentiment, our front sentiment. We're going to clip this off a little bit and flag it on the end. We'll take a couple of our dimensionals here. That two's enough. And we will place this. Whoop, that is not straight. I can tell that. Move this back so this does not show. Put the sentiment right there, and there you have it. Now, hang on just 1 second. These aren't really the petals that go with it, but for the sake of this video, they're going to work. Okay. What I do with my petals is I mark the veins on them, starting down in the center and then flicking off to the sides. That gives them a realistic look. Now, you won't be able to see it very much in the video, but in person you will. Then I kind of mush them up, and I'm going to clip a portion of these off because I have the dimensionals under. I can only get the leaf under so far. So what I'm going to do here is I will put this one there, dip it into the glue, and then put it under there. So there you have it. Very easy card. Very stunning, actually, and it's a good way to use up the little scrap pieces. This card is what we probably did this card. We did it in class, oh, a good 10 years ago at least. And so that's what this card, the inspiration for it. This card here is another one. Make sure that you can see it, that uses scraps, and these are just mounted on a diagonal, and this is the same set here, except this one is just die cut, where the actual veins were stamped in and then embossed with embossing powder. So, but it's the same set. Then we have this one here, and this is done with vellum that is just die cut, and then the vellum is put on here. And then this one is another one we'll be doing for class, and this is done basically the same way this is, and then we have taken this one image that is the full flat image of the flower. We've taken and put it on the background, and then a small one inside. So this is a very versatile set, and it is really cool, and we hope you enjoyed this presentation, and we'll try this card. So if you will go to the website, you will be able to get all the particulars on the dimensions and everything else that you'll need. So have a great evening, and thanks for stopping by.